Good morning, Story Trading VIPs. Do we have a lot to talk about? Wow. I mean, the catalyst this morning just nonstop, and we already had some nice trades. At least I did in pre-market. And even though the market is down here this morning, I think we're set up for some really nice trades this morning. So now you can see QQQ and SPY. First of all, before we get into 8:30 a.m., why it took a turn for the worse. Before that, could have been why we were down was Micron earnings were down. So you can see this in Micron earnings missed, I think, both on the top and the bottom line, and also guidance. You can see that's down 4.5%, and that's a large company, fifth important company, down $55 billion company. And then also in sympathy, you have Applied Materials down as well, in sympathy with Micron. So already that was kind of setting a negative tone, or kind of a excuse at least for the market to start selling off after hours last night. And then in addition to that, this morning, smaller companies, but pretty concerning. We had CarMax coming out and say, you can see it's down 14%. CarMax coming and saying they've paused their share repurchase program amid its Q3 performance and continued market uncertainties. So we're seeing pretty bad signs in the car market. And, will that come to housing and other sectors? Possibly. And you can see in sympathy, Carvana's down as well. That's company's had a lot of problems, down 5%. So problems in the auto market brewing. So we can see QQQ and SPY now down even further. That happened at 8:30 a.m. this morning because GDP numbers came in stronger than expected. Jobless claims came in lower than expected. Core PCE came in higher than expected. Okay, all of that means a strong economy. Strong economy in this environment is bad news. Good news is bad news. Why? Because rates go up, and you can see UUP, or they don't come down as fast. So you can see UUP, we're getting validation looking at the smarter money with bonds selling off a little bit, TLT down, and UUP up because expectation of probably higher terminal rates is already being priced in. And you can see that market now declining. So QQQ and SPY heading back down. I mean, this is a hard, choppy market to play. I cannot play markets well personally. Like the chop in the market, not my thing. All I know is we're still in orange alert, still recommending a 3-2 hedge versus long position for the fund that I am advising for right now. So that's a story. Can't be surprised about further downside. And I have been saying for a while, even though I was hoping for a kind of end of market year rally, end of year rally with the end of tax law selling. Usually that starts like Christmas Eve day, or in this case, maybe next Tuesday, through like the first week of January. I'm hoping for that, but the technicals tell me there's a chance that the QQQ can have a little flash crash in the next few weeks to what were those levels we talked about? I think 250 to 235. Yeah. 250 to 235 downside potential, which is why I continue recommending to stay hedged. Now, we're monitoring, obviously, CS and BX, or any sign of financial contagion like we had in 2009. No problem, no major problems showing up yet. Apple, very important to the major indices. You can see that 134, 130 line in the sand there. Really, I think 129 was a 52-week low, but I'm looking for downside potential 112, the 200-week moving average on Apple. And Tesla does not look good, folks. I don't know. I have a hard time seeing this bounce on technicals at this point. You need a catalyst. That catalyst maybe can come early January when they have delivery numbers, and then I think late January, or I think the end of January they have earnings report. Maybe that's what you need because I did with the sentiment out there and where is on the chart. I know there is some good support at 135, but this is something at this point. I have a long-term position. I started adding a little 157, but I've stopped trading this. I'm no longer trading this, looking for upside opportunities on the trade. I'm just going to wait for this to play out and maybe get a position like before some catalysts. Okay, come in early January. ORIC. Okay, ORIC has been a big winner last night for me and this morning. Pfizer investing in the company, and along with some news, you can do a look at this biotech news over here. But it's $25 million investment at $4.65. As far as I can tell, it's straight equity. Okay, $4.65. So that's my line. Interestingly, that 465 actually lines up with resistance here on November 17th, November 21st, and November 18th. That's a 469, 470. So basically, this is easy for me. This is a fundamental play combined with that resistance you have at 469, 470. I'm just buying this. In fact, I have a limit order right now. I forgot what I put it at, but I've been buying in the 440s and I've been selling around 465 to 470. I did it last night. I missed some upside into it went to like 540 last night, but whatever. Like in this market, I'm not betting on the stock going very far above 465, the equity purchase price of Pfizer. So basically, that's my piece 2 times, buying in the 440s and then selling in the high 460s. So interesting opportunity there. Now, what's interesting also is ORIC they sold shares at a 55% premium to Pfizer over the close of the previous day, 55% premium. When this happened, this immediately brought to mind DRIO for me, because I know DRIO is in the process, or they're probably going to sell shares to Sanofi at some point. And I know from past conversations I've had, and also the past execution DRIO has done selling shares, that they expect to be able to sell shares to Sanofi at a significant premium. And this is just further evidence it's still happening in this kind of market. You can still get a 55% premium. Imagine a 55% premium if they were sell shares to Sanofi today would be $6, right? So I put this up on my watch list this morning to be like, hey, this is probably a good spot going into the end of the year. It's been stable here the last few days. And then what happened this morning? We had some news. This morning, nice press release. Leading international wellness company selects DRIO as partner for musculoskeletal health improvement program. And if you read through this, it looks like it also got the backing of the government in Greece and Cyprus. It's partnering with the public and private entities of Greece and Cyprus. So you can look at this, or at least the company they've partnered with. So, and it gives you some numbers of like 50,000 people or something. They're going to be screened for this. So I don't know that the deal itself is very big with that 50,000 number, but this is really good validation that they're basically getting a government partner to do this rollout of their musculoskeletal product. I really like the sentiment that this is going to improve. I think, validation is a whole big part of stock valuations, especially when they're not profitable yet. So getting this third-party validation from, at least through this private company from the government of Greece and Cyprus, that's pretty cool. I really like that news. So DRIO up at the top of my watch list, man. If the market was green, maybe I'd even day trade it. But with the market now red like the way it is, probably not day trading. But this increases my conviction going into the beginning of next year, holding DRIO as one of my largest positions. In fact, it probably is my largest, but Clearfield's number 2, Clearfield. All right, that's DRIO. This morning, great news on CLF. Oh my gosh, I got in at 15.50. I sold at 15.75, probably prematurely. Wasn't a big position anyway. But CLF, let's just quickly look at the technicals first, and I'll tell you news. It's gapping above the 20 DMA, okay? You can see resistance here, or target, I would call at this point, of around 16.50. So I think it's a shoo-in to get to 16.50. Why? Because this news is incredible. Take a look at this. Cleveland Cliffs achieves price increases on fixed price contracts for 2023. All right. So they're saying for their steel, they're getting paid more, $1,400 per net ton as compared to $1,300 per net ton, 2023 versus 2022. But look at this. Look at the last paragraph. Separately, as a result of lower input costs and normalized repair and maintenance expenses, Cliffs also expects significantly lower steelmaking unit costs in 2023 compared to 2022. So their expenses are down and their revenue's up. Margins are up, probably significantly, on a company with a PE of 3. Now, I don't know how valid that PE is. There could be one-time items in there. I'm not an expert in this stock. I tagged, I think, Matt, who put CLF on our radar, to get some commentary on that. But when you look at impact on stock price, I would look for a delta in information to cause a delta in price in the immediate term. And this obviously, to me, is not information that was known by the market yesterday. So regardless what the valuation should be, whether 3 is fair, it's not fair, whatever it is, the way I look at it, the market's efficient. So the PE of 3 was correct, but now we have new information today. We have a delta of information, which should cause a delta in the price, and that's what's happening right now. really spiking hard. Now, this is not a retail stock. This is like an institutional stock. So I think like this can rip even higher at the open. I'm hoping for a pullback at the open, but I think 1650 is your target. And also, if you look at the short position of 8.5%, I think, that adds fuel to the fire. So possibly could it break 16.5 and make a move much higher? That's possibly in the cards over here, right? And that, and maybe it's a swing trade to like the 200 DMA. But I would be interested in getting back in on pullbacks. I probably shouldn't have sold that at 1575. I was just trying to do a quick scalp. I saw this pre-market high here at 1585. I'm like, close enough. I got in 25 cents, wasn't much. But CLF, really, really interested in that. That's now 2 high conviction trades in a down market I have here, 1.1%. ORIC, buy it in the 440s, 430s. And listen, I'm not a financial advisor. Do what you want, no guarantees, but this is my trade plan. All right. And by the way, I just want to say with ORIC, there is a possibility, and it will be a very profitable possibility, that this tries to pull back to the 200 DMA right at the open, which is $3.95 to $4, right? Like within the first 5 minutes of the open. That's possible. All right. Or maybe maybe it just goes down steadily in the first 30 minutes. If that happens, I will back up the truck so hard at $4. And I would be expecting a sharp V from there. This is not going to fill the gap all the way down here when Pfizer is buying at 465. Okay. That's my prediction there for ORIC. So, 2 good trades, right? ORIC and where is it again? In Cliff, right? All right, now LLAP. We had got into this yesterday for a swing. This is the one that had to deal with Lockheed Martin over here on this big green day, and then it's been down, nothing but down. And then you have one green up day. This is a pattern that usually results in a swing kind of opportunity. RSI very low. Now, I wish the market was green. That would make it a little easier. But I really like this chart. It looks pretty explosive to me. The MACD is about to flip maybe, or at least the red bars are declining here. Again, RSI very low. Great backing with Lockheed Martin. And but here's the thing. This morning, there was news. Terran Orbital completes order for SDA's Tranche 0 transport layer. And you go look at this. This is actually for Lockheed Martin. And looks like a very bullish report. You can go take a look at it yourself. Now, if the market was green, I actually would have been buying. There was some ask at 152, 153 this morning. I would have like doubled down in a green market because I think this thing in a green market would have been heading to 175, my initial target, and maybe higher. So LLAP, the question is, in a down market, is that news going to be enough to keep the momentum going? And I'm not sure about that. So some risk in LLAP here. I like CLF better because of the fundamentals. The implication of the news on the fundamentals, very, very good for CLF. And that's what, those are the safer stocks in a market environment like this are the ones with the fundamentals. And of course, I like ORIC because of that defined $4.65 price target, which I believe we will see at some point again during regular hours. So any purchases down here, I believe you'll have a chance to sell at 465 or even, maybe call it 464 in case everyone has the same idea of selling at 465. All right. More news. INMB. The news was crazy this morning. Now, this one, I'm not equipped to translate the importance of this news. I mean, it is important. It looks like important news. It's validation. DoD giving them a grant. It looks like there's some data in here. This is about Alzheimer's. So, feeling good stuff for INMB. It's at a little support level. I'm not sure how the market's going to interpret this news, so I'm not necessarily going to be trading this today. I do have a long-term position, and we've reached out to Dan Carlson to get comment from him, what he thinks this means for the stock. But we interviewed him the other day, and he's looking at lots of positive catalysts coming in the first few months of 2023. So potentially this news just bolsters and makes any technical supports a higher conviction buy on INMB. And look at Cliff, keep going, 1605 at a pre-market high. Man, do I have a little bit of FOMO. Why did I sell at 1575? This might be the star of the day, to be honest with you. Even better than, might even turn out better than ORIC. That was just incredible news. All right, let's go further down to GEO. Man, this chart, I got shaken out because the Supreme Court put a pause on the expiration of Title 42 pending a ruling and the market didn't quite care. Maybe they know what the Supreme Court, maybe, I don't know as much, possibly. Is the Supreme Court ruling whether it's going to expire, tonight or next week? If those are their two choices, then obviously this is still a great play. Can they come in and say, no, we're just going to leave it on the books indefinitely? Then that would be bad for the stock. So because of that doubt, I got out. All right. And if I have to pay more, I'll pay more. When the SCOTUS ruling comes out, I'll buy this. Even if I have to buy it at 11.50, I will, because I expect the stock. Look when it started taking off. See this big green? This was when the initial ruling came out. The Title 42 is going to expire this week. And the stock went on, even though it had a nice big green day that day, it went on a multi-month move, very significant multi-month move. And I think the same thing can happen here once it's finally on the books and finally Title 42 is reversed. Even if I have to pay more, maybe it can go on another 50% run or something like that. So, but anyway, the chart is just RSI right at the 20 DMA. It really looks like it wants to break out and make a huge move to the upside, but I'm not sure I'm willing to take that risk. I'd rather pay more in the news, but if you guys are just technical chartists, maybe it makes sense right at this level. CXW, its peer, had some news this morning that they're paying off some debt to redeem 4.625% senior notes. It seems bullish to me. I'm waiting for commentary from some folks in the room to see what they think about that, but this should generally move with GEO. And so now you have potentially two catalysts. What's going to happen with the Supreme Court decision and also them paying off some of this debt is a possible good catalyst on CXW. And we had more news. QIPT, which is a microcap stock, which Aaron Warwick had presented to us in the past, had earnings last night. If you annualize their earnings from Q4, it's an implied EV to adjusted EBITDA ratio of 5. So, if you think that's cheap, then maybe there's an opportunity here. I'm not in this stock currently. I believe I'm going to try to get Aaron on the show tomorrow morning to get his take. I think the conference call is this morning, so you can go take a look at that PR, listen to that conference call. But this is definitely a good valuation stock, very low value stock in a good sector, in the healthcare sector. So QIPT can take a look at that news. We also had AIR coming out saying earnings will be the first week of January 5th. So keep that in mind. That can cause a little bit of an event anticipation run. Maybe not starting from today, especially the down market, but keep an eye on that. Maybe usually I notice event anticipation runs in an otherwise stable market start happening about 3 to 5 days before the event. They start seeing people buying it up. And then that's a very common trade. You'll buy like 3 to 5 days before the event and then sell right before the news comes out. So you get rid of that risk of the potential binary outcome of an earnings report. So AIR, some news there to keep an eye on. Even more news this morning. This is unbelievable news morning. ReWalk. Now, I'm not playing this one, but this is a biotech, a med tech company with an EV below 0. They do the exoskeletons. They came out and they said they're extending their buyback program by a $5.8 million. So, man, this has not done well, though. This is actually on our radar last year as a pick going into January, thinking, oh, we had this major tax loss selling. I mean, you can't even see this chart anymore. You had this major tax loss selling at the end of 2021. So maybe you get a bounce in the beginning of 2022. It actually didn't transpire. And I believe it was also negative EV back then, right? So just that, putting that out there as a caveat, but it's certainly possible if you're into this sort of stock that it has a good day today, as far as day trading or maybe swinging it for a day, possibility. But I am personally avoiding this not because it's a bad idea necessarily, but because we have so many better ideas this morning, especially in ORIC, DRIO, CLF, LLAP. Okay. All right. What else are we looking at? This is insane amount of news. All right. Follow through TGB. Now, no new news this morning on TGB, CTLP, COMM, TBLA, CTMX. No new news on those, but I think we could see continuation moves on all of these stocks. We're looking for those. We're looking at TGB right at a support level right now at 150. That's the 50-week moving average. So we'll see if that holds. If it doesn't, you got the 200 DMA here, and that, man, I would be a buyer there at the 200 DMA for sure. 142, 175 swing target on that for me. CTLP, I've been holding this for 430 plus, continuing to be a swing off the recent news of the insider buys. And before that, Investor Day. Before that, the acquisition. We have COMM, which I day traded yesterday. I'll keep an eye on this for a re-entry. This one had, I think, a $17 price target by Credit Suisse yesterday. So that potentially can turn around this very negative period it's had in. So possible continuation there. Tableau trying to bounce off of the support level of 20 DMA. Did a nice job of that the last couple of days after that big Yahoo deal. So looking at a $3 price target in Tableau. CTMX after the Regeneron deal. Ooh, it's down this morning, and it's not insignificant. I mean, it's only a couple thousand shares. But let's see. We have support. Oh, it's right on support, 148. Okay, so let's see. Hopefully, you can hold that 148 support, and we can make a move back up towards 175 after this Regeneron gap. Still in that one. All right, so that's about all. Oh, LIACF. Wow. Look at LIACF gapping up this morning, 208 bid. Did anyone pick this up? Did I pick it? I don't remember, but bouncing DMA. I don't think I own it right now. I just didn't have room with all the other stuff I jumped onto yesterday. But I really like this after the uranium spin-off deal. And of course, we're monitoring Clearfield. We just launched a 5-minute summary video. You got to take a look at that. If you're not subscribed to our channel, make sure to do that at youtube.com/StoryTrading. Well, you're watching this on YouTube now, aren't you? So in any case, take a look at our new 5-minute release. We just released it last night. All the highlights from the CEO. This is a great company, great stock, and it's got great prospects for catalysts coming up in just a few weeks with earnings coming out. So, wow, that was a lot to cover. Despite the market where it is, I am pretty excited this morning to be trading ORIC and CLF, LLAP. Those are probably the top 3 I'll be looking at, and maybe DRIO as well. Okay, so guys, a lot here. Let's collaborate in the rooms. If you're watching the replay right now at 4 p.m. and you're not a VIP, hop on over to StoryTrading.com. You can get a 7-day risk-free trial, and then you can watch these shows live with us every morning. Have a great day, folks. Thank you for joining.